Welcome everybody to the Bunny Babble. That's right, the weekly thing where I babble on about everything that's happened this week and everything that's been happening this week. This can be anything regarding current events. This can be anything regarding myself. I try to have a little updates about me and everything like that, and just everything that's been happening around the internet, whether it's in the VTuber space, whether it's in the flesh tuber space, or whether it's just important topics or things that I randomly found on Twitter that I kind of want to talk about, stuff like that. And let me tell you, this week has been another huge week. Like, there's one downside to doing, covering a bunch of things over the course of a week instead of doing like dedicated videos. One of them is the fact that when you do it once a week, sometimes things end up being like old news. Like, some things you kind of need to cover immediately if you want to jump on the actual bandwagon, stuff like that, especially if it's a hot topic. But the only problem is when you do that, you're not getting the full story, because obviously stories take time to develop. Any good writer will tell you that. And that's definitely been the case over the course of this week. There's been a specific story that it's a little scary to touch on, because it's definitely very, how do I say this? It's like poking a bear, like you're gonna piss off one side, whether as much as I tend to be more of I don't know if I would call myself a fence sitter, but like I don't really have too many like strong or harsh opinions, and like that pisses people off either way. You're gonna piss someone off no matter what, and this topic that I'm planning on talking about today is definitely a topic that's gonna piss people off. So unlucky, I guess. But I'm gonna give my thoughts and my opinions, as well as try to bring as many facts to the table as I can. Either way, I gotta say this as always, because apparently it helps, regarding demographics and such. Make sure to subscribe, that little button down there. If you actually watch my videos, if I've been recommended to you enough and you actually, like my opinions and stuff, maybe you've seen some of my clips, maybe you like when I ramble on, when I babble on about a bunch of different stuff. Maybe you like that. And if you can stick with me, if you watched my fucking 50-minute fucking Bunny Babble videos, like, why not subscribe? But we definitely have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Before I get into any of the actual topics, I do want to, I'll bring the jingle. My jingles are I only have one jingle bell now because they keep falling off my little keychain thingy. Jingle, here's the first topic. This is just shit that's been happening to me. I think my leg's slowly getting better. It's like my right leg and my back. If you watch the last Bunny Babble, you'd know that a lot of shit's been happening to me. Just like personal stuff that's been kind of like, the world kicking me in my fucking scrotum. And my back / leg seems to be slowly recovering. Like, I feel like I'm able to sit for longer periods. I've been constantly doing stretches. People have been recommending me a ton of different shit. I wanted to go to the doctors, but I couldn't actually go to the doctors because of the whole identity fraud thing where my card got declined. So I had to wait an entire week for my card to arrive in the mail. And a fun thing about that is I can't really pay for the doctors if I don't have my card. So it's not like I could go to the doctors and be like, hey, do you take PayPal, by the way? Do you take PayPal? I didn't really want to do a wire transfer, if I didn't have a card. Yeah. And now it's a week until I go to Canada. So like, if I go to the doctors now, and it's just like, they're like, okay, we're gonna have to see you in a week. I can't just be like, well, you see, I'm not gonna be in this country, so I have to wait until after I come back from Canada. So I'm just hoping it naturally, it's like, I'm hoping that it's hit its peak of the pain like a week or two ago, and it's slowly just now recovering. And hopefully I don't have cancer. That would suck. Yeah. That's one of the big things that's kind of happening to me. I'm going to Canada, but yeah, that's the other big thing is I'm going to Canada. I'm visiting Taiga. You've seen Taiga in some of the clips. They're the ones that are that had the degenerate femboy VTuber. That's that video. Yeah, that's them. That's the one. And they've been kind of like a, you know, a popular topic as of late. And we're going to a music festival with one of their mods, Noxy, and Shira, who's another VTuber. They're chill. I like them. I'm gonna be having a lot of new experiences. I'll try to take a lot of pictures, and you know, the Bunny Babble after that is gonna be insane. But because I'm gonna be in Canada, I'm not going to be able to do a Bunny Babble next week because I'm not gonna have anything to record with because I'm not gonna be there. So there will be no Bunny Babble next week, but there will be, you know, of course, the daily content. There will be an upload. There will be next Sunday there should be a Thumpin' Bark or a Thumpin' whatever it decides to be that week. We should have it probably be the Thumpin' Rambly, the Thumpin' Bark with the Rambly. It doesn't look like there's gonna be a Thumpin' Bark tomorrow because there's been a lot of things that have been happening, and you know, sometimes things happen, so there's not gonna be a Thumpin' Bark tomorrow, but there will be one next week, unless somehow the editor manages to like pump out a ton of work out of their ass. But I'd rather them be happy than rushing, you know? So no Thumpin' Bark tomorrow, but there will be a Thumpin' Bark next week. And there won't be a Bunny Babble next week, but you got one today. You're listening to it right now, you know? You're listening to it. Anyway, enough about the rambles about that stuff. That's my little things. I'll make sure to have little videos. I'll be able to talk about my experiences. I'll try to take pictures and stuff like that. And it'll be my first time ever like leaving this country without family, or even just like leaving my home without family. This will be the first time I don't have family with me when I'm going somewhere. So like I've been to Australia. I was literally born in Australia, and I visited Australia with my mother, Mama Bun, to like visit our that side of the family. And you know, we stayed there for like a week or two, but that was with family. So this is the first time I'm, you know, and it's a new experience. We're gonna see how it goes. It should be fun. It should be a good time. And jingle jingle, enough about me, especially because there's some people that probably clicked on this video that don't give a shit about me. They just want to hear about, you know, they want to see if my opinions side or align with theirs, or they're just interested in the topics at hand. We're not going to be talking about that topic yet. It's probably going to be the title of the video, to be honest. It's probably going to be some shit like the Ava Kris Tyson situation or some shit like that. You know, who knows? I'll think of a fucking clickbait as hell title, you know, as you do, as all should do. All good YouTubers make the best of clickbaits. But we're going to be going through a bunch of different things first. We'll get to it when we get to it, you know. So jingle 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 jingle. This is something that I found really interesting. This is something that happened in the beginning of the week, or it happened last week and I just didn't talk about it. I don't know. So Twitter's reportedly testing a dislike button. I have no, I mean, YouTube took away their dislike button. So this is super interesting to me. Like bringing a dislike button could either go both ways. Like, you know, there's going to be able to be dislike bombings. There's going to be like, you know, I don't know what it's gonna do. Are they gonna show, because we have a heart, so like what would a dislike be? Like, you know, so if you look at Twitter posts, you can see here that it's a heart. So like, is it gonna be a thumbs down? Is there gonna be like a broken heart next to it? Or is it every time you dislike it, instead of showing dislikes, it just takes away a like? And like, can you go into like, is it gonna be like Reddit where it's like you can have downvotes, where it can have like a post can have negative likes? Do you like, I'm just curious if like you think this is gonna be a good idea. I know YouTube took away the dislike, like you being able to see the dislikes. I personally have an add-on that shows like a little what is it called? I think it's an add-on. Extensions. I have a Chrome extension that shows what the dislikes are on the YouTube videos and stuff like that, because, you know, I just like knowing, because it can be a good judge of either like just the common knowledge of what people see, or what like the opinion of a topic is, on top of like it could be good feedback of like if people don't like this or if people do like this, which is why I don't get mad whenever I see dislikes on my videos and stuff like that. Like it just shows what people like and what people don't like. And of course there's always going to be some people that dislike stuff just because they don't like you as a person. And you know, like that's fair too. I mean, that I don't know what kind of criticism that is, but it's you know, like it is what it is. Yeah. That's just a small little topic. I'm curious if this is actually going to get like implemented, and where it's going to be implemented, and how it's going to be implemented, if it ever is implemented. I feel like Twitter having a dislike button is going to go crazy, because, you know, Twitter is a cesspool. You know, I'm on it too. You know, I don't indulge in some of the more toxic elements, but I can't say that like on my For You page, like there's a bunch of like shit that like pisses me off. You know, like I'll see something and it's like, well, pisses is like a strong word. It's more like I see stuff and I'm like, how can that seems like such a like dumb opinion, you know? But I don't go on the comment, because like, so there's sometimes where it's just like you go on something that's obviously meant to be like trying to trigger, maybe not the right word, engagement baiting. Yeah, they do say something stupid that like the average human being is going to disagree with, just so people will comment down below in it. And it's like you'll see people just arguing, thread after thread after thread after thread of like people just arguing with the person, and then other people being contrarians, or they just like maybe they do actually just believe in whatever that is. And you know, the engagement bait works. It worked. Like I do engagement baits too. Like a lot of times when I tweet something, I'll have like a question attached to it to try and get people to comment on it. But I don't engagement bait in something like, well, okay, the most, you know, I'll even show, okay, we're gonna take a small detour. We're gonna go to my fun little Twitter. So this is I actually did do an engagement bait thing. This thing right here. Oh my god, they brought back public lights on Twitter. They did not bring back public lights on Twitter. I just said this because I knew it would make people panic. And you know, a shit ton of people commented on it. It got over 500 likes. This is an example of just engagement bait, of either someone just lying on the internet, because I just lied on the internet. This was a lie. I just lied. I thought it would be funny. Like because I've been wanting, you know, Twitter likes to be public again, because I love stalking people. Like, you know, I want to go through, like if someone follows me, like the first thing I do is I look at their profile and I go through their likes, especially if they have a profile picture that I like, you know, like that's what I used to do. Like whenever I was bored, I would just go through people's likes. And so, you know, this is something that like I know some people are scared of, so you know, I just all caps typed it, you know, like, you know, the public likes are back. And you know, a bunch of people panicked. Some people were like, I don't care, and some people were like, that's funny. And you know, and like just compared, like most of the time I have like a question, like here's a question in my shit. This one doesn't have any. This one has a question. This one also has a question. And like, you know, sometimes questions can really work. Anyway, that's a little tangent. So yeah, basically there's engagement bait. A lot of people do it. Some people do it more in a way of pissing people off, which is the engagement bait that I don't really like, unless it's like supposed to be funny, unless it's obviously just like such a huge joke. But when people do it to just genuinely piss off people, that's where this feature might actually come in handy with the dislike, if it like suppresses engagement and shit like that. Anyway, I talked way too much about this topic. This is not supposed to even be a big topic. Jingle 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 jingle. Hello, grabbing your attention. Fortnite, skibbity toilet, whatever other Gen Z words are. I'm sorry if you have brain cells and I took away some. Forgive me. I gotta do it for the rest of the folks. They start paying attention to the video once there's jingles happening. Okay, up next is another little Twitter update, which can be spooky. It probably won't be spooky for a lot of people, but for content creators, this is kind of important. Before you post anything on Twitter, double check the file names. Twitter is now including file names under videos. Don't leave any sensitive info. And then, you know, like at the bottom there, it shows this. I think there's more information down here in the thread. It's metadata and stuff like that. Given the sudden change with no warning, I'd strongly advise to remove metadata, anything you upload on Twitter. So basically, like if you upload a video and it has like your address in it, or sometimes file names can be really stupid, especially if you just like, if you're editing something or if you're recording something, sometimes you add funny titles. Like I know way back in my day, I would add like stupid ass titles, and I know like every time Shizu sends me like an image or a picture, they're named cum, like cum. It's like the file name is just cum, and that's because that's what like he saved his shoe settings as, and so they are just cum now. So like whenever he sends me a file, it's just like cum.j like cum dot like 14577.png, like shit like that. So like it just, you gotta kind of be careful now, especially if there's no way to like hide this information. So that's a little something. That's a little something for the content creators. Jingle jingle, jingle jingle. Now non-content. Jingle jingle. Hello. Come on. Up next. Hey, we made it to the title. Wow, we made it to the title of the video. Wowie. Okay, so here's the big shit. This is the shit that's been taking the storm, like the world by storm. Like this is such a, like, this could easily be an hour-long video on its own. Like I could do a deep dive little situation, just like talking about this. There's so much stuff has happened. This basically happened at the beginning of the week, and it's still going on. And so I'll give you a little TLDR of the situation as a whole, as far as just me going off of memory and stuff like that. So in the beginning of the week, I don't remember the exact day, there is someone who's a part of the Mr. Beast team, that their name is, I think Ava Kris Tyson is their full name right now. And this person got a little bit into controversy a little bit a while ago, and this has already started like the kind of hate wagon on this person, because this is a very hot topic on the internet, and just like even in real life and stuff like that, is the whole topic of trans and trans people and stuff like that. And Kris Tyson, she was one of the people that ended up doing transitioning, and they got a lot of fucking hate for it. Because, you know, there's people that are, I believe it's the far right. I don't know much about politics, but I believe right and far right are the people that are against that. There are a lot of people that were just like, you know, saying, you know, this goes against Christianity, this goes against everything that I've learned, you know, no matter what you do, a man will always be a man, stuff like that. And then, you know, there's a lot of people that were just kind of, you know, hitting on her for that. As that is, you know, a topic that's always been very, very strong. And as you can tell by my channel being very like LGBT friendly, you probably know my stance on it if I haven't said it before. I myself am not trans. I don't ever plan on being trans. I don't try to go by, you know, she, her pronouns. Like I am just a dude. I am a guy. And like when it comes to like trans, it's just like, just be who you want to be. I don't care. Like if it's not affecting you personally, I don't understand why exactly it pisses off so many people. I mean, maybe I can understand for people that are really religious, but I mean, there's a lot of like churches and religions and stuff like that now, where especially with Christianity, where they're like allowing trans pastors and like, you know, being a lot more LGBT friendly, and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, if it's not affecting you, I don't understand why people get so worked up about things. That's kind of always been my opinion. Like, even if I don't agree with someone, or if I don't agree with something, or if my opinion differs from theirs in like topics and stuff like that, I don't like, oh fuck, how dare you follow me in the middle? Nah, god damn it. Yeah, I'm sure people have seen that. Yeah, I'm using my OBS to record this, if you couldn't tell. So you see that follow thing. Wow, what a wonderful time. Like people, even if I don't agree with someone or I don't have the same opinion with them, like I don't get pissed off over it. I don't like try to attack them or attack them as a person, unless they're like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just how I've always been. I've been very laid back. I've always been laid back as a person. Even if like for example, it's like how I treat kinks and stuff like that, and fetishes and stuff like that. Like, sure, I'm not into vor, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to hear more about it. Like, I would love to know why people are into some things like that. And I mean, like, for example, I'm in Florida. which is a very like anti-LGBT place. And my Papa Bun and stuff like that are mostly, if not completely, against this type of stuff. And I always love just hearing their reasonings and their takes and stuff like that, and just like trying to understand why they think the way that they do, how extreme their takes are. Sometimes, you know, they're not extreme at all, and, you know, bringing things to the table of, like, you know, almost like debating and stuff, just being like, you know, giving different scenarios and like if their stance would change for different things, or if there's like different topics that they don't know about. So like, just because someone is, you know, I don't agree with their opinions or their different viewpoints, like I still want to hear about them. I don't want to just be completely like, you know, stuck in my own point of view, even if my, you know, point of view and my opinion doesn't change on the topic. I feel like it kind of, you're never going to win over another person if you don't at least hear their side and hear their story. Otherwise, how else are you supposed to be able to like understand why they feel the way that they do? And, you know, from seeing that, be able to be like, oh, it's not actually like this, you know, like, or there's some parts about that, you know, there's some, like, you got to find the points that they would agree on and stuff like that. But there are also some people that are just very stubborn and steadfast in their opinions and stuff like that. But essentially, when Kris ended up, you know, coming out and, you know, transitioning and stuff like that, they gained a very, very strong hate base. And in recent times, that was way back when, and now in recent times, they essentially ended up doing a fun little thing called some like grooming allegations came against them. You know, every month we get a new one. Before we had Drake, now we got, you know, there was Dr. Disrespect, and now we got, you know, Ava. And the goddamn did everyone fucking the haywire, the entire internet, the entire Twitter just went onto storm. There were some people that were, you know, some people trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Some people, especially people that were already not fans of Ava, came out and were like, you know, get fucked. You know, it showed, you know, there's some people that were being transphobic, and then there were some people that were just calling out Ava on something that was really bad. And then there were some people that were trying to, you know, almost defend it. And then there were some people that were trying to say just because they are a bad person, it doesn't mean that it's like because they're trans. And that's kind of the take that I am going with currently, is like, I mean, there's people that are like, you know, completely straight, completely cis, or, you know, completely just a normal dude, or, you know, what people would, you know, at least that side would consider a normal dude, are, you know, they do horrible shit too. It's not because they're trans that they did horrible shit. Sorry, there was a hair in my mouth. So essentially, there was this person here that I have a quote here. There's been a lot of stuff that's been happening. Essentially, they were, how do I'll tell the other story. Kris ended up making a lot of edgy jokes when they were younger. They always say they're like 21, and Lava was like 13, 14, 15. And they were making a lot of, you know, weird, gross jokes. They were doing things in public chats, public discords, and a lot of the things that they were saying was something that you should never do with a minor, and never, like, even if they're jokes, even if they're, you know, you're just making funny little gooby gabbas, stuff like that. It doesn't matter. That's why my Discord is 18 plus. That's why I, like, even if I'm not, you know, sexual, even if I don't, like, it's just like, it's just a way to protect it. So I think, you know, Ava was very, very stupid with that, and should have never allowed, you know, minors in their space, especially if they're going to make edgy jokes, stuff like that. It was just kind of in poor taste. I don't necessarily means, you know, I don't think that means that she was a groomer or anything like that. But it's something that you should never do. You should never put yourself in that position to begin with. You should just, like, if you just not do that. especially if you're a public figure, especially if you're like, I mean, you shouldn't do it in general, but like you have so much more to lose. So why would you ever even allow yourself to be in that position? It's kind of stupid. And the thing that is really, really damning, you know, Lava came out, Lava said that, you know, they're not a victim. And then later on, as the story progressed, Lava did say that they don't believe that they were a rumor, but they do believe that what Ava did was wrong. So it's like Lava, they kind of switched sides. They did a little bit of flip-flopping. A lot of other people have come out with their own stories and stuff like that, as people do. Once one story breaks, a million others will break as well. Some of them are in bad faith, some of them are in good faith, some of them are, you know, honest. And the real fucking just punch in the coffin, which is opening up shit for a lot of other creators and a lot of other people as well, is people Ava associated with someone named Shadman, which I actually had no idea who they even were until I learned about I essentially learned about Shadman from this situation. Shadman is they were an extremist that ended up like getting kicked out of art school because their art was deemed illegal and too sick for like just the world. So they were kicked out of art school because of how gross their art was. And essentially they drew a lot of like lolly and that type of stuff. But what differentiates them from, you know, you can have your own opinion about like lolly artists and lolicon artists and stuff like that. What separated them was the fact that they used real children. You know, it's essentially they're a bad person. They're a horrible person. And they even like try to they drew like sexual art of like a good example of this was like Keemstar's daughter. Keemstar has a daughter. I believe they're like 10. They might have been even younger when Shadman drew them, and they essentially drew porn of like, you know, a 10-year-old girl, which is never okay. That would never be okay. It's real life is completely different than fiction, and once you start bringing real life into fiction, that's when things get really bad. And so, you know, Ava was a fan of Shadman and even had, you know, commissioned personal Shadman art and had it on, you know, their like walls and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, some of them were even in Mr. Beast's videos because, you know, I mean, if they were roommates and they ever went into Chris's room, then they would see the art. And there's even like a really notorious picture that's going around of like Mr. Beast looking at the artwork, and people are like saying, oh, Jimmy knew because of this. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. Jimmy could have just looked at the art, and like, just because you see a piece of art doesn't mean you know the artist. I'm just saying, like, you know, you could just think an art piece is weird and not ask about it. Especially if you do think it's weird, why would you ask the person about the weird artwork that you don't like? Especially if they like, for example, if you see someone and they have a body pillow and it's like a really weird body pillow, you know, like, you don't want to go up to your friend and be like, is that unless it would be funny, then maybe. But like, if it's something that like it's really awkward to be around, you just want to avoid awkward topics. Like, just as a person, I feel like that's not like uncommon to just not want to talk about awkward topics, especially if you think it can be awkward, because people don't like awkward topics. They don't want to talk about shit like that. I think that's just like a normal human thing. And so Ava has ended up basically getting off of Twitter. They one misconception about Ava wiping her Twitter was they thought that they wiped their Twitter because it was because of the allegations. They wiped their Twitter like a week or two ago before the allegations even came out because of a different situation or drama. But at this point, it has become a lot more than just Ava. You know, Ava. It has now become kind of the starting fire of a war against just like, you know, trans versus not trans and those types of opinions and stuff like that. And a lot of people, especially people that were like, you know, heavy into the trans stuff like that, are saying that like, you know, Ava set them back like 10-20 years because now people are going to bring the situation because Ava was, you know, kind of a big deal, kind of a huge deal because of their connection with Mr. Beast, who's the biggest YouTube channel ever. And it's a topic that I would say, if you want to learn more about this topic, especially because I feel like I was a little all over the place, because this is it's such a big topic. There's so much about this topic, and feel free to ask any questions, especially if you want to know my opinion on something like this, because I might not have been entirely clear. Leave any amount of comments directed at me. I will try to answer them all as best as I can. And I would suggest, if you're going to watch any video, I think Oompaville did an amazing video on this. Oompaville basically ended up getting into contact with lava and got specific, like, you know, they actually got to manage them, like, message lava, and got like actual lava input, special lava DMs, special lava screenshots, stuff like that. Who is the original person that this post was made about, like the original what came out was, you know, their DMs and stuff like that. I will link the Oompaville video in the description. I think it's a great watch if you care about this situation. If it's just gonna piss you off, don't like get yourself stressed out. But if this is a topic that you seriously want to learn more about, then I would say go watch that video. There's probably a ton of other videos as well, but Oompaville is the one that I feel like had the most, like, I don't know, there was a ton of research done in it. They literally got lava speaking to them, you know, there was a ton of shit. I feel like it was a very, very, very good video on, like, this situation as a whole. And yeah, so we're gonna be moving away. Jingle jingle, scary topics over now. Hopefully it didn't piss off too many people. Jingle jingle, next topic. Jingle jingle. Shondo got banned. Shondo got banned on her birthday. It was Shondo's birthday and she got banned. It was so sad. It was so sad. Apparently Shondo got banned for sexual content, which is a little weird, because especially on Twitch they're not sexual at all. I don't know what could have made that happen. Normally Twitch is very not harsh, so it was kind of a surprise. And most people think, or I mean, yeah, a lot of people think it was because it was Shonda's birthday. She got basically spam reported and stuff like that. And it was sad, and there was, I mean, some of it was kind of funny because, you know, like she made like a little artwork of like her at her birthday table, and it was just filled with, it was just empty seats, no one was there. It was a little funny, but I think it's kind of like, you know, it just happened. There's not really too much information on it. It's just something that happened that I thought would be interesting to talk about. Because it looked like she was spam reported and it happened on her birthday, and that was so sad. It was so sad. Anyway, jingle jingle, jingle jingle. Go talking on it. Like I talk about one topic for like 20 minutes and then the other topic. This is so sad. Anyway, next topic. I believe this is the last topic. We got Pierre, and this is here. I'm just gonna read this one out for you guys. YouTube deleted my channel, Shy Lily Clips, for impersonation. 2+ years of work gone in the blink of an eye. It was specified everywhere that the channel was not run by her. In the channel bio and in every video's description. I've sent an appeal and now I'm waiting. This is crazy. And this is shit that's been happening all, like, this is I mean, we talked about last Bunny Babble, like, shit, people are getting fucking banned. First, it seemed to start off with the non-IRL ASMR channels. You know, Lion Chew got banned, Best Boy got banned, fucking Cozy Cup got banned, and there's a lot of other people that were getting strikes and stuff like that. I believe Kyo got banned as well. Kumo might have gotten banned. If they didn't, then they had to take down every single one of their ear-licking videos and stuff like that. And now a lot of VTubers are getting strikes and getting bans. Like Dottie ended up getting a strike. Taiga got banned off of YouTube. This is a situation that we just had to deal with, where they, you know, they got hit by this, and the people that were clipping Taiga ended up having this exact thing happen to them. They got banned off of YouTube on the impersonation policy, which was crazy because, you know, obviously they weren't them, you know, and they were being just fine before. It seems like YouTube is really starting to just target VTubers in general. It's It really is crazy, and I don't know if it's because there's someone that hates VTubers on the team. I don't know if they got a new bot system that seems to be like sniping people that are, I don't know, not of the flesh. Maybe they think things are, you know, I don't know what exactly is happening. Like, even I've gotten warnings randomly, and you know, I hadn't had a warning ever before, and it just like randomly on both channels I got struck with a warning. And it was for the body pillow, which I made a big shit about because I was annoyed because, you know, mine's not sexual. And so it looks like a lot of channels now are getting hit or struck by the same things that like should in theory be okay. Especially because there are some channels out there that are so much worse, and there's other things like you know, you can look up you know, naked yoga, and you can look up like, you know, you can look up breastfeeding videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and it's completely fine. But you know, I don't know, it's just a little silly, I think. And I hope Pierre gets their channel back as well. I did message Pierre a little bit about, like, I messaged Pierre, and I was trying to see if there was anything that could have, you know, any new information, any information like that. They're just anxiously waiting for an answer right now. They don't really have any information. They're just kind of sitting. I sent them something that someone went through similar, and they bought a legal team. Essentially, they bought lawyers to try and like get their channel back, and they did end up getting their channel back. And it's also something that I sent to Taiga as well, because, you know, obviously I want Taiga to get their channel back. And then there's one sad thing about that is it's like some people just don't have the funds to hire a lawyer, which is, you know, a little spooky. So, you know, there's, you know, the average person isn't going to just be able to pull out like however much money you need for a lawyer and just stick them on the team. So it kind of sucks. It's kind of tragic. Especially if you're just like an average Joe getting fucking smited by the YouTube gods because you decided to breathe in their vicinity. But yeah, that was the last topic that I had, for at least what I had marked in my bookmarks and stuff like that. I would love to hear your opinions, of course. Jingle, 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 jingle. Now it's time for my questions. Now I'm gonna start asking questions. What is your opinion on the, you know, YouTube randomly seeming to just target VTubers? Do you think clip channels should be banned for impersonation? And also, why is this channel specifically getting targeted for impersonation, and a few other ones? But, you know, there's people like I have some editors that run other channels like Femboy Clips and OB VTuber Clips, and they've never once been hit by impersonation, and they've, like, you know, some of them have like millions and millions of views. But, you know, Shy Lily Clips and like Tiger Clips, do you think it's because they're specifically doing one other person? But then there's the question of like, if they have the consent of the other person, what does it matter? Why does it matter? What's your opinion on that? And then what do you think about the Shondo ban? Do you think Shondo deserved to be banned? Do you think it was just mass reporting? Do you think Shondo did anything, you know, that should have been bannable? Apparently it was because of sexual content. So do you believe that Shondo is sexual? Do you think that they have sexual content? Do you think it's acceptable for Twitch to do that? Of course, I think the biggest thing to talk about, and will be talked about, is the you know, the Ava situation. So what is your opinion on that? Do you just try to be, if you're going to talk about this, please try to be civil. I know that this is a very, very hot topic for the internet right now. I think it's a very, very heated topic. So I didn't really bring any information to the table that people didn't already know. So I basically essentially, you know, brought the same shit to the table. All I did was bring a little bit of my opinions and my own experiences in it with it. There's other channels that have definitely did a deep dive into the Kris Tyson situation better than I could have ever had. Maybe not ever. I can't put myself down like that. But if you have any questions, especially if you have any like personal questions towards me and how I feel about the topic, because if I wasn't clear enough and I didn't give enough of my opinion, you feel free to ask me anything. I will try my best to answer. Just try not to get canceled. I don't want to be canceled. That would suck. So that's something that I'd love to hear your opinion about. Just like, I'm sure a lot of you, especially if you live on the internet, has seen this and formed your own opinion already on the situation. So I'd love to hear it. And then how do you feel about the Twitter having like little file names and being able to say the file names? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's a bad idea? Do you think it would end up helping? Do you think it would hurt? You know, it could end up doing things where you can name it like little funny things and it's like a little Easter egg for people that noticed. Do you think, you know, Twitter should just not have this as a feature? Do you think Twitter should keep this as a feature? And then what do you think about the, you know, Twitter possibly having a dislike button? There's like, you know, tons of pros and cons to it. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. I'd love to hear what you'd like to think. And as always, jingle, 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 jingle. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't like the video, you know, I'll kill your family. I'll kill your dog. I'll make sure to feed your dog little bits and pieces of the cats that you have. I'm gonna also put into their food bowl your boss. I'm gonna cut up your boss and I'm gonna put them in a food bowl and I'm gonna let you just like, you know, your dog's gonna have a good treat. They're gonna have a good treat of you, your boss, and your cat, and it's gonna be a nice little new trail mix for them. So make sure you like the video. And if you haven't subscribed already and you made it this far, I mean, you obviously care enough about me, or you find my voice calming enough to, you know, sit through this much of me. So subscribe if you haven't. You should. And you know, leaving an algorithmic comment below always helps. So you know, I give you plenty of topics to conversate about. Bunny Babbles normally always have a lot of comments and a lot of things to go through, and it's always very fun to see and to respond to each and every one of them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This was the Bunny Babble, and of course this bunny boy is going to keep babbling on until the next time. Sadly, there won't be a Bunny Babble next week, but the bunny boy will babble on next week, the week after next week. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and luckily for me, this wasn't a 50-minute video. It was only 40 minutes. Let's go. I ended up talking a lot about Ava. Oh, if only the stupid, I got a follower doing it. I don't want to edit. You're just gonna have to deal with it. It's gonna make me look so bad, but it's okay. Just pretend you didn't see it. Just pretend. Fuck you, Reaver. I think it was Reaver. I think that was their name. Fuck you. But also, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to Fluffle. Anyway. Bye. Bunny boy babble. Bunny boy bunny babble. Bye. That's my outro. That's not my outro. That's horrible. Anyway, bye. Bye. This bunny boy babbled. This bunny boy babbled Bis bunny boy babble bomb. But I don't know. I want to do a lot of bees, but there's only so many bees you can do. Anyway, bye. Bye. Goodbye. Bye.